Prime's exclusive wildcard playoff game is Saturday night. Jordan Love and the Packers take on Caleb Williams and the Bears. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game.
That's going to be caught for the touchdown.
NFC North rivals square off in the latest chapter of the NFL's oldest feud. The Packers and Bears in Prime's exclusive wildcard playoff game. Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on Prime. Sign up for a 30-day free trial today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So our orders get all backed up. We're drowning in paperwork, then actually drowning, careless fighting off sharks with a stapler, and pirates are pillaging the office copier, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant goes beyond the resume, using unique insights to deliver a smarter shortlist. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Welcome to the Sportsman's Voice podcast, your inside connection to the outdoor legislation. From the Beltway to policy happening your way, we're covering it all. I'm your host, Fred Bird. Join us as we explore public land access, wildlife and fisheries management, Second Amendment rights, the triumphs that shape our nation, the sports we all love, and the stories that fuel our passion for the great outdoors. This is the Sportsman's Voice podcast. All right, folks, our NASC Summit is kicking off in Memphis, Tennessee. As many of you may know, and you may have heard on the past episode, we have two states that have teamed up for the first time ever in NASC Summit history. Tennessee and Mississippi have come together, state legislative sportsmen's caucuses, and as well as two EC members in Representative Scott Bounds of Mississippi and Representative Jesse Chisholm of Tennessee decided, hey, let's put our collective efforts and talents together and let's put on a hell of a show. And they're doing just that in Memphis. So I wanted to bring them in, give us the welcome here, and let you guys hear from them a little bit more than we have in the past. So with that, Mr. Chisholm, Mr. Bounds, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Glad to be here.
Literally in your backyard.
Literally in my backyard.
In his district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the hotel, you can hit my house. So I'm glad I'm glad to have this.
That works for you. Yeah, it's a short commute. I've never been on this side of Tennessee. This is pretty cool. Doing the Bass Pro Pyramid, 10th largest pyramid in the world, as I understand it.
Absolutely, yes.
And the 8th wonder of the world, I'm told.
Yes.
But that's the way I got to address it.
That's right.
Perfect. We're in for a good summit. We got a hell of an agenda put together with a lot of input from the EC, from legislators, from our team that are working directly with you all. And I think we got it built out pretty well.
Hey, look, this thing is such a collaborative effort. I mean, from the state of Tennessee, state of Mississippi, our EC members, the NASC team. I mean, the NASC team is a well-oiled machine. I do say, hey, this is great stuff, and just to see the work that's gone into it, I'm really encouraged about it. How about you?
Yeah, this is, Jesse and I have talked about this a little bit, and Fred, and when we had our mid-year executive council meeting in 2024, we were talking then, okay, what state is going to step up and do the 2025 NASC Summit? And really, we just sort of came up during that mid-year EC meeting, and we just said, hey, you know what? Us in Tennessee can do this together for the first time to a joint NASC Summit, and just sort of evolved from there. And then here again, working with you and the rest of the NASC team and the CSF team, pulled it together. And Jesse and I just sort of, we just sort of got on calls and help raise resources to put it on.
Use your talents.
Well, I guess that may be one.
You can say it that way, yeah.
But I've got to give shout out to the NASC team and the CSF team for all the planning and all the behind the scenes work that they do to really put it all together. And of course, it really has been a honor and a pleasure to work with Jesse and Senator Paul Rose from Tennessee. and putting all this together. The Graceland Resort here, where we're at in Memphis, is just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. I really didn't know what to expect. I'd been to Graceland a few times, never been to the resort, so I didn't really know what to expect. And when I drove up today, it was just really, I was like, wow, this is something.
Yeah.
I said,
And you're not far. You're about, what, 3 hours
About
south of
3 hours.
Philadelphia?
yeah, I'm about 3 hours south of here. I
Mhm.
live in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Yeah.
But
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Mississippi has hosted before, right?
yes, we hosted in 2016 on the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Okay.
Right. I hosted a mid-year. I don't think you were on yet, Jesse. Then
That predated me.
I hosted a mid-year EC meeting in Tupelo in 2022. So NASC and the CSF team they're somewhat familiar with Mississippi, and
No.
we've got a strong. I want to brag a little bit on our Mississippi Legislative Sportsmen's Caucus. We've got a strong caucus. We got a strong leadership team in the caucus. Right at of 172 members in the legislature, we have 140 plus members
Wow.
of the Mississippi Legislative Sportsmen's Caucus, and which makes us the largest bipartisan caucus in the Mississippi legislature. And it's and Jesse's Tennessee's probably the same way, but the issues that we talk about here at the NASC Summit, and it's nationwide issues, it's things, but being from here in the Southeast, to me, I've always been amazed that some of the issues that are on the agenda for as topics every year here are things that we did in Mississippi 20 years ago,
Mm.
and that are just it's a no-brainer that some of the things that the states are really fighting for, like Sunday hunting and things like
You're
that.
telling me.
I mean, that's just a given where we're from.
Yeah.
And but it does, the summit allows legislators who come and participate. It allows them to talk to states or legislators from states that have done these things, been in the trenches, been in the battles, and just the insight and the conversation you have with other legislators is really a lot to take back and beneficial to what we do in our own states.
It's huge value, and that's why we keep telling folks in our own, for the team, I speak for the team, in our state capitals that we service, that we work with, the Legislative Sportsmen's Caucus, you need to be here, and here's why. And when they hear from you guys, it's way more impactful. They're going to hear from people out of Pennsylvania that, you mentioned Sunday hunting, that rolled back Sunday hunting, that kind of thought would never happen, kept kind of kicking the can. They rolled back a couple days. Okay, we chipped away at it, but they did a full repeal. Those folks are here. Those legislators are here for the first time, and I know their eyes are as big as a saucer plate. And I've been told their reactions. This is amazing. I wish I had come before. I can't wait to bring this back, and understanding within it, being on the ground already, the value with this, the ability to collaborate with others, and then build off of your successes. Or maybe there was a failure, and everyone gets to work together on that. And that is the power of this. At our mid-year, you guys all spoke to this, and the EC president, Jeff Wardlaw, who will join us as well, got very passionate about that and what that value is of the NASC system and why legislators should sign on to this, not just as a checkbox, to say I support the sportsman, like to be invested and involved in what we guys can do and move and shake as legislators and working together.
That's right. For me talking to other legislators from across the country, I try not to take for granted what the states of Mississippi and what the states of Tennessee, things that we haven't had to fight as hard for,
Yeah.
because our constituents, they understand most of it already. Some of these other states, they really had to fight for things like Sunday hunting,
Yeah.
certain things in knife rights.
Yeah.
It's just a great summit to be a part of, where you have different people from different backgrounds that get the chance to get together and talk about a common goal.
Well, and one of the thing, and I was looking to the agenda, just one of the topics is going to be lead ammunition ban.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't imagine I'd get run out of Mississippi if we tried to ban lead ammunition. I would be told to move somewhere else. And then, then you have the other states that are really just the guys and girls, ladies in their legislatures who are really passionate about it and understand what the sportsmen want, but outside interest of the sportsmen who are really just at their neck every year trying to do simple things like ban lead ammunition, and we all know, and you can Google it, that lead ammunition has no impact on far as human health. I mean, the amount of lead you might get from eating game or something that's taken with lead ammunition. So to have these policy ideas and to hear them, but it's not just it's the summit runs policy ideas and agenda items that cover the gamut of the whole United States, not just the Southeast or the Northeast or the Northwest or the Plains, or covers the whole gamut. And I made the statement to your boss, Jeff Crane, when we arrived, that we have as legislators, we have an opportunity to attend a lot of legislative conference.
Right.
Okay. And I'm not going to name any of them, but everybody knows what they are if you're in the legislature. But this is by far the most meaningful and beneficial to me legislative conference.
And one of the most fun as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, one of the most fun as well.
As legislators, you guys have so many constituency groups pulling at you, wanting this, wanting that, and if I'm being honest, just as someone else's constituent, I got my own interests in my personal life. You're looking at taxes, you're looking at infrastructure, funding, all this. I'm looking at school boards, I'm looking at school systems, right? And to us, our issues are paramount. They're top of mind because this is what we do. But you look at all these other competing things, and it's like, where do we rank on this? Here, that's not an issue. And because of the bipartisan, bicameral nature of our organization, of your caucuses, while some of that other stuff may take precedent, it sits there and collects dust sometimes, or it's a can that gets kicked. Whereas you all are able to take action on our issues and make true impact and real impact for the public at large, whether they know it or not, right? We talk about that all the time. Talk to me really quick. This year, we introduced a proactive list of policy that we wanted to tackle. Now, all of it wasn't applicable in every state. Some, like your state, Mississippi, you're like 20 years ahead of the curve on a lot of this stuff. But in states like the Northeast, where I come from, there's real issues. So we put this together as a team. We presented it to you guys, and where applicable, put it out. How has that helped you all be able to be effective and proactive?
Well, I tell you one thing. It's so helpful to have subject matter experts and having other legislators who've been able to tell us their path to get certain things done. And in the state of Tennessee, I'm a little spoiled because we have such amazing legislators on both sides of the aisle that understand a lot of our issues, and I'm just glad to be a part of some of that.
Yeah, same way in Mississippi. I mean, when I think of the membership of the House and the Senate, the Mississippi legislature, we all get what outdoor hunting, fishing, trapping, and outdoor activities mean, not only to our citizens, but mean to our economy also. And in Mississippi, hunting, fishing, and outdoor activities is estimated to be a $2.6 billion industry. And so it's not anything to just take for granted. But I will tell you, and I'm going to go back and say, I don't know what else we could pass, but there are things that I see up in the summit every year that I take back home, and I'm still struggling. I'm not struggling with it, but I'm challenged to move a piece of legislation forward that is that NASC has pushed real hard, and I'm felt like, being on the EC and chairman of the Mississippi Legislative Sportsmen's Caucus, I can just sail this through. But it is a policy issue. It's a fiscal issue. And I'm still working on it. And I'll file the bill 2 years, and I think I may can get it over the finish line this year. But it's not, but you learn and you listen to the other people here who have been successful with, say, hey, what'd you really do to get this over the finish line?
Mm-hmm.
So just the things that if you attend a NASC Summit as a legislator or as a policymaker, just some of the conversations and the things you're exposed to is the information is invaluable. It's invaluable.
Yeah.
Yeah. On my end, as an urban legislator,
Mm-hmm.
I get a chance to do a lot of educating in my district because in the urban districts, a lot of times they don't have the same experiences nor
Yeah.
the same opportunity to be outside as those that are in rural areas. So I get a chance um, to kind of to educate people on um, conservation and food diversity
Mm-hmm.
and um, uh, all of those things. So it provides an opportunity for me in my legislature to be able to kind of bring in the rural legislators and the urban legislature and kind of uh, be glue a little bit.
Yeah. I was talking to Ducks Unlimited CEO Adam Putnam. Ducks Unlimited stepped up in a big way for this summit as presenting sponsor. And in that conversation, I learned that here, presumably in your backyard, Ducks is or will be purchasing a 1,300-acre lot on the river and rehabbing that to a traditional bottomland timber dwelling and have parks and stuff for people to go, which is a unique situation for this environment here.
Right.
So when you talk about the work you're trying to do in an urban setup and expose people, all of a sudden, with someone like Ducks right here in your backyard, that creates some really awesome opportunity and what kind of minds can be changed and brought into what we love. It's
Right.
just locally neat opportunity I learned about.
That's right. I laugh at it sometimes, but I tell people that I'm kind of a hybrid.
Yeah.
I got a chance to have a rural and urban experience in my lifetime, so I get a chance to merge both. And also those, I'm finding out in our legislature a lot of times we have these issues that come up, and I find out that it's based on rural and urban,
Mm-hmm.
and some of those things are even with the attitudes and thoughts of certain outdoor activities.
Hmm.
Because certain areas, hunting is just in the fabric of the area,
Yeah, right.
and in other areas, the grocery store is just the fabric of
That's right.
the refrigerator. So it's
That's a matter of access too at that point. It's
absolutely
how long does it take to get out of a concrete jungle to get to a wild place to even throw a fishing line, never mind do a duck hunt or a whitetail,
that's right.
right?
Well, yeah. And
Mississippi, not so much.
well, not so much. I was going to use and I've used this analogy before in talking to groups that, especially in Mississippi, the outdoor and our heritage and all, and hunting and fishing and all that. But I use the analogy that we can be debating when the legislature's in session, we can be debating a bill that is going to reduce taxes or raise taxes, do something that's, like long-term impact on the state. Okay. And you can look up in the galleries and there'll be 8 people up there. You scratch your head and go, wow, how really important is this? But if somebody files a bill to change deer season by one day, there'll be 1,500 people at the Capitol. It's important. And I know in Mississippi that, like again, that the heritage of our outdoor opportunities is really, really strong. It's really strong.
You're lucky because not every place is like that, and we're challenged in some of those places. But because of that strength that you're talking about, you guys again have been able to come together, put the talents together, put the support of both your caucuses together, and really do something special here that, again, that's not been done. So much so that I know it sounds like there's talk of replicating this model in other parts of the states. It seems to, as far as there's a fundraising component to it, so it bears the uh, reason that two's better than one can help in that effort. And at the end of the day, we want to put on such a good show and provide so much value that obviously we're setting records every year. Last year we set a record. This year, as I understand it, we've set a couple records, and that's great, and we're excited about that guess what's going to happen in 2026? They're going to look at us like, bar's been raised. We need to beat that record. You know? So,
Yeah.
how, and how do we do that? How do you guys as NASC do that? Who makes a decision? I'm anxious and excited to find out where we're going to do this in 2026. Rumor mill is a rumor mill, but we won't get an official word until we do. And when we do, we'll announce it. And no matter where it is, it'll be exciting. But you all will rise to the occasion as EC members for sure to support, and you guys are able to influence that with your leadership, and it's appreciated.
Well, like I said, it's been a high honor to work with Jesse and his Tennessee colleagues, and I'm not trying to give him an attaboy or a pat on the back, but it has been.
I'll take it.
We've been able to for the last really year and a half to pull it all together.
Yeah.
And Jesse and his people have done a great job here in Tennessee.
Yeah, Scott and the Mississippi delegation have done also an amazing job. It's been such a pleasure working with those guys. We're neighbors, but we've kind of built our own neighborhood now. So
That's right.
No, it's awesome, and obviously major kudos and congratulations for what you've executed here, what you've put together, and the attendees are going to just be the beneficiaries of it, and especially the new ones. I keep harping on that, is the folks that are here for the first time and seemingly have a consistent reaction of, I wish I had done this before.
Yeah.
And as long as they're in their state legislative bodies or whatever they end up doing, hopefully as long as they're in those positions, they continue to come back and take back to their states, lessons learned and the value that they're here, and maybe bring some more people in so we do set those records.
absolutely. You remember the potato chip commercial? They say you can't eat just one. I've learned that about the NASC Summit. If you come the first time, you're almost guaranteed to come back.
Jeff Goley's here.
Bill
Reams here. Plenty of others that have passed the baton, and they just love it.
They just can't stay away, and I'm glad they're here.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad they're here.
It's always good to see them.
I saw Jeff in the hallway. I was so excited.
It's an energy they bring, and it also, those firsthand testimonies help influence new members of the EC, new members of NASC, and inspire them. So even though they have moved on from their leadership positions, they are very much in a influential position still, and we're grateful that they're here. So thank you both for everything you've done for this organization, for what you're doing here this week, and what the ripple effect will be. So have a great summit. Thanks for all you do.
All right, let's do it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, as we kick off the NASC 2025 sessions here in Memphis, Tennessee, it is my pleasure to once again welcome back to the program the CEO of Ducks Unlimited and our presenting sponsor here in Memphis for 2025, Mr. Adam Putnam. Sir, great to have you back. How are you?
I'm great. It's always good to be here. And what a fun opportunity to host and welcome our wonderful leaders from across the country here at NASC to our hometown of Memphis, Tennessee, the headquarters of Ducks Unlimited, and ground zero of the Mississippi Flyway at this time of year.
Coming in as the presenting sponsor, I did want to acknowledge that some more. That's a huge commitment. Illustrates the partnership we have in CSF and DU, and then the work we do collaboratively, and what we're able to get done at the federal level here with NASC, the in-state network, and really influencing what really matters to duck hunters, residents on the ground, because the stuff that's happening in their backyard is what really matters. Stuff on the hill is important, but the day-to-day stuff, this is the crowd that makes that stuff happen.
Well, that's exactly right. Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation obviously was founded to influence federal policy. But over the recent years, I think very wisely, they recognized how many of the fights are taking place in the states, good and bad. You get to play offense. Unfortunately, more frequently now we're playing defense for sportsmen and conservation-related issues. And CSF and NASC are tremendous partners of Ducks Unlimited. We work shoulder to shoulder in state capitals and in Washington and with governors to influence pro-sportsman legislation, pro-wetlands legislation, pro-hunting legislation. And the fact that they were in our hometown here of Memphis, Ducks Unlimited's been based here in Memphis now for roughly 30 years. And it was a no-brainer to support our partners and be able to show off our hometown
Mm-hmm.
to these legislators who are working so hard on behalf of America's hunters and anglers day in and day out in their public service.
Sir, it's a pleasure to have you. We thank you so much for the support of this event, huge support, and obviously what we do together as two organizations throughout the year and for our community. It's not a small task, and we rise to the occasion.
Well, we do, and we do it together.
Mhm.
This is a team sport. I'm honored to work for Ducks Unlimited. I'm honored to be on the CSF board, and in an earlier role was was part of the Congressional Sportsmen's Caucus before I was in a different life. So this is great team spirit, great collaboration. It's wonderful to see the energy in that room of legislators from across the country who share this passion and are willing to put themselves out there in public service and in public life to make a difference for the next generation. Thanks
And
for having me.
you bet. Thank you so much. All right, folks, it is my pleasure to be joined now by Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation President and CEO Jeff Crane steps into the podcast booth here in Memphis, Tennessee. Sir, welcome.
Thanks, Fred. Glad to be here as always.
It's uh it's always a positive, happy grind. Lots getting done, lots of um, policy being talked about, folks collaborating, networking in the corners of the hotel and over coffee breaks, and a lot of outstanding presenters. How does this compare here in Memphis in 2025 to the first NASC and kind of everything in between?
Well, aside from the first NAS fitting in a small room because it was just a nascent idea at the time, and growing into where we started in small little hunting type lodges because that's all the people we had to now having to move to major hotels to accommodate everybody. I think the trajectory is always and the focus and the mission has always been the same. Unite the legislators with our partners, bring the state agencies in, and advance the agenda. And we are at the dead center of that. This organization sits at the dead center of it. And I'm probably personally more proud of what the whole state-based effort from NASC and the governor's caucus, but really NASC has grown into in 22 years. And it's the preeminent conference for legislators and partners and agency folks to talk about really substantive issues on policy.
What is consistent from my three NASC experiences, and I'm looking forward to many more, um, is the first timers regretting they have not been here before and the commitment to come back because this is just it is impressive to them and the ability to what I already said, network and collaborate and make these connections to work on policy they want to work on in their state capitals is almost priceless to them.
That's a testament to how much work goes into it and how we execute this and the partners and players that we bring to it. That seems to be oftentimes the case. And hopefully we hook them and they'll be here for 3 years
Yeah.
or a whole lot more, and, tell their friends, tell their colleagues in the legislatures, "Man, you gotta come to this," and we hear tremendously positive feedback from not only first-timers, but, a number of people that tell me, "This is my favorite conference of the entire year. I love this conference. I learned so much, get to see so many like-minded people. We get to go out and do some fun stuff. We're about fun in the end of the day, so it's a great opportunity. But yeah, I'm with you. It's wonderful to see those first timers and have them say, "Why didn't I know about this here for?" And always encourage them. Tell your friends, tell your fellow legislators, bring more. I'd like to see this thing grow to being twice as big, and I think it's on a trajectory to go that way.
I haven't seen final numbers, but as I understand it, as of this morning, we have set a record for number of legislators in attendance. Is that
That's
accurate?
my understanding, yeah.
That's
So that's why I say, we don't rest here. You know that, Morgan here, and we find the high benchmark and we raise the bar, and
yeah.
say we're going to all go over this bar, and we continue to do it. And that's why I'm really optimistic that this thing is huge compared to where it started, but it isn't where it's going to end either.
And the amount of behind the scene planning and work and forethought that goes into this operation is impressive. Being a part of that team and all of our colleagues putting in on this planning from development and events to policy execution and coming up with the topics that are timely, things that we're working on in state capitals, issues that are interesting to our co-chairs and our legislative sportsmen's caucuses. Our executive council for NASC has input. We hear from them, and we try to put this all together. And it just, without being hyperbolic, it really does. In my 3 years, seems to get better and better.
Yeah, 100%. And it is a real testament to you and your colleagues in the state program area of the Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation for the incredible amount of work. It's our only event that is multiple days. It has huge substance in terms of all of the sessions and the myriad of topics from all around the country, from land-based to water-based. And the creativity to not be redundant that all of you put into it is, it comes off really well, but man, there's a whole lot of work and a whole lot of lead time to get this thing executed.
But it's all worth it, though. I mean, just
I couldn't agree with you more.
and then going into 2026, once we clear the holidays here and we get on the ground in those state capitals, the folks that are here remember it.
Yeah.
And then they start, "Hey, can you connect me? I forgot this person, but I had this conversation. Can you help me get to that?" Yep, I sure can. I had the legislators from Pennsylvania that were instrumental in rolling back Sunday hunting. It was both of their first time. Chairwoman of the fishing, hunting fishing committee there, and then Rep. Mandy Steele, who was a bill sponsor. They were just kind of bright eyed, like, "I can't believe I've not been here." And I said, and they were talking with other legislators about other issues, and again that ability. And I said, well, that's great that you feel that way because Massachusetts and Maine can't figure it out with Sunday hunting. Lessons learned from you. We're gonna reach out to you and help you work with those legislators on what you did because Pennsylvania was arguably right up there with Massachusetts and Maine of being heels in the ground, never gonna repeal that. Um, and there they go. So I think they can help in that effort as well. Just brand new to the show, and here they are contributing.
That's always been the vision, though, is to learn from what's happened, good and bad, in other states, and prepare the strategies and the plans, and then connect the legislators to one another to talk about exactly their experience and what worked, what didn't work, and obviously with all of you that interface with them on a much more regular basis, especially when they're in session, to be able to be there and be a part of the discussions and the strategies. We've racked up, or your team has racked up. We as CSF have racked up on average 200 wins every legislative session for 8 years in a row. That would not have happened had we not built this infrastructure, or had we not hired the right people to manage this infrastructure, had we not built the NASC network and held this summit. This is a testament to what we have accomplished by building all of these pieces. And it was a slow process and at times painful, I could tell you, and I'm looking forward to continuing to grow this. And but 1,600 policy wins, that's moving the needle. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's the future, and that's what we're doing. And telling our story is certainly going to be a component to where we're going with this more. But this thing is working, and it is working at great speed with great effectiveness. And I'm awfully darn proud of everybody.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of the Sportsman's Voice podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, your support is crucial, and you can help us out right now by leaving a review, filling in those 5 stars where available, sharing this episode with friends and family, and engaging with us socially. CSF can be found on Facebook, Instagram, and X formerly known as Twitter. Together, we can protect the outdoor sports we love and continue to keep you informed wherever you are. That's it for this week. Until next time, we'll see you later.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.